Some metal bands spend decades chasing perfection. Others captured it once and disappeared forever. Today, 10 metal bands who released one perfect album, then vanished. Some broke up immediately, some lost members to tragedy, and some simply walked away from music entirely. These albums became legendary precisely because there would never be a second chance. From grindcore pioneers to funeral doom innovators, these are the one-album wonders that defined entire genres. Number 1 is the most heartbreaking. Number 10, Steeler, 1983. Before Yngwie Malmsteen became a neoclassical shred god, before Ron Keel had his own band, there was Steeler. Formed in Nashville in 1981, the band relocated to Los Angeles and became one of the first acts signed to Mike Varney's Shrapnel Records. Their 1983 self-titled album featured 19-year-old Swedish guitarist Yngwie Malmsteen making his American debut. The album combined party metal with Malmsteen's explosive neoclassical guitar work. Songs like Cold Day in Hell and Hot on Your Heels showcased his signature scream solos. The album became the highest-selling independently released heavy metal album of its time. But musical differences erupted immediately, and Malmsteen requested more complex songs, insulting Keel to his face. By summer 1983, Malmsteen left to join Alcatraz and launch his solo career. Constant lineup changes killed the band's momentum. They never signed with a major label. Ron Keel dissolved Steeler and formed his own band, Keel, which sold over 2 million records between 1984 and 1989. Malmsteen released 20 solo albums and became one of metal's most influential guitarists. Steeler's lone album launched 2 major careers, but the band itself lasted less than 2 years. The album remains a cult classic and a historical footnote in the careers of both men. Number 9, PROBOT, 2004. Dave Grohl wanted to make a death metal supernatural. After years of mellower Foo Fighters material, the former Nirvana drummer retreated to his Virginia basement studio in 2000. He recorded heavy metal instrumentals with no plans for release. He labeled the tapes PROBOT to distinguish them from Foo Fighters' work. Then he got inspired. Grohl contacted his underground metal heroes from 1982 to 1989. Lemmy from Motorhead, Max Cavalera from Sepultura, Kronos from Venom, King Diamond, Tom G. Warrior from Celtic Frost. Each vocalist received instrumental tapes by mail and wrote their own lyrics. Grohl feared his alternative rock fame would drive metal singers away. They agreed immediately. The self-titled album dropped February 2004 on Southern Lord Records. Critics praised it. The single Shake Your Blood featured Lemmy and 66 women from Suicide Girls. The album peaked at number 68 in the US, number 34 in the UK, but PROBOT never toured. The logistics of coordinating 12 different vocalists made it impossible. They performed My Tortured Soul once on Headbangers Ball. Foo Fighters occasionally played Shake Your Blood live with Lemmy. Grohl called it Total Freedom and one of his top 5 records. Alex Newport, his producer, loved it, but preferred his quieter life. PROBOT remains a passion project that captured lightning in a bottle and wisely left it there. Number 8. Number 8, Vinterland, 1996. Swedish melodic black metal in 1996 belonged to Dissection, but Vinterland nearly matched them. Formed in 1992 in Kvicksund, Sweden, the trio released 2 demos before entering Unisound Studios in winter 1995. Dan Swano of Edge of Sanity engineered the sessions and played keyboards. The album combined brutal blast beats with beautiful, icy melodies. Songs like Our Dawn of Glory and As I Behold the Dying Sun featured acoustic passages and atmospheric piano. The production was massive, yet raw. The album was originally titled Wings of Sorrow, but confusion over the cover text changed it to Welcome My Last Chapter. Released March 1996, critics called it a masterpiece. It stood alongside Dissection's Storm of the Light's Bane and Sacramentum's Far Away from the Sun. The album achieved legendary status in the underground. Then, the band vanished. Despite positive reviews, Vinterland disbanded in 1997 without explanation. No tours, no follow-up, nothing. Members later appeared in bands like The Black and Tyrant, but VINTERLAND remained silent for over a decade. The album became a cult classic, commanding high prices and inspiring countless melodic black metal bands. In 2010, rumors of a reformation circulated, but nothing materialized. The album was remastered in 2022 by Dan Swano. Welcome My Last Chapter truly was their last chapter, a perfect snapshot of mid-90s Swedish black metal that would never be repeated. Number 7. Handsome, 1997. When Helmet guitarist Peter Mengede got kicked out in 1993, he wanted revenge. Not the angry kind, the musical kind. He envisioned a supergroup where everyone had equal say. By 1995, he recruited former Quicksand guitarist Tom Capone, ex-Cro-Mags drummer Pete Hines, bassist Eddie Nappy, and vocalist Jeremy Shadlin. Handsome signed a $1 million multi-record deal with Epic Records. They recorded their self-titled album with producer Terry Date at Bad Animal Studio in Seattle. The album blended post-hardcore, heavy riffs, and melodic vocals. Songs like Needles and Left of Heaven showcased dynamics that Helmet never had. Released February 1997, critics praised it. Kerrang! Later called it one of the most underrated albums of the 90s. But commercial success never came. Sony marketed them using their former bands, which backfired. Fans accused them of selling out. The band toured with Silverchair and Local H. In June 1997, guitarist Capone quit before their European tour. He was replaced by Donnie Campion from Electric Love Hogs. By July, tensions peaked. The band dissolved. Epic dropped them through a contract clause triggered by Capone's departure. Mengede cited internal tensions and returned to Australia in 2001. The album became an overlooked gem, finally pressed to vinyl in 2013. Louder Sound included them on their list of top 50 cult metal bands. One perfect album, 1 year together, one massive missed opportunity. Number 6. NAILBOMB, 1994. Max Cavalera and Alex Newport didn't plan to form a band. In 1994, Sepultura toured with Fudge Tunnel. Max's stepdaughter Christina started dating Newport. The couple moved to Phoenix near the Cavaleras. Max and Alex hung out and jammed. Max showed Alex Sepultura's thrash riffs. Alex showed Max Fudge Tunnel's ultra-heavy guitar tones. They were just messing around. Gloria Cavalera insisted they make a band. They recorded Point Blank in Max's home studio with guest drummers, including Max's brother Igor. The album mixed industrial metal, thrash, and political fury. The cover showed a Vietnamese civilian with a gun to her head. Songs like Wasting Away and Religious Cancer attacked religion, war, and authority. Released March 1994 on Roadrunner Records. Critics loved it. The album was heavier than Chaos AD, more focused than most industrial metal. NAILBOMB played 2 shows total. A warm-up gig at Hollywood Club in Eindhoven on June 1, 1995. Then Dynamo Festival 2 days later with members of Biohazard, Fear Factory, and Dead Kennedys filling in. The live album, proud to commit commercial suicide, captured the performance. Then they disbanded. Newport hated the noise of crowds, hated performing live. Max loved it. Newport didn't. They remained friends. Max reunited NAILBOMB briefly in 2024 without Newport, playing festivals and select shows, but there would never be a second studio album. Newport is too happy now. Point Blank stands alone as a perfect snapshot of mid-90s industrial thrash rage. Let's pause. We're halfway through. Steeler launched Yngwie Malmsteen's career, then immediately broke up. PROBOT brought together metal legends for one album, then disappeared, and VINTERLAND vanished after releasing a black metal masterpiece. Drop a comment. Which band do you wish had made a second album? Hit subscribe if you love deep metal history. The next 5 bands didn't just vanish, they pioneered entire genres with one album, then disappeared forever. Some disbanded before their albums even dropped. Number 5. CARNAGE, 1990. Swedish death metal in 1990 meant Entombed's Left-Hand Path, but CARNAGE got there first. Formed in 1988 from dismember members, the band featured future Arch Enemy founder Michael Amott on guitar. They recorded Dark Recollections at Sunlight Studio in February 1990. This was one of the earliest recordings capturing that signature Swedish buzzsaw guitar tone. Producer Thomas Skogsberg ran Boss HM2 pedals through Marshall amps with detuned guitars. The result defined a sound. 8 tracks of brutal, raw death metal. Songs like Dark Recollections, Torn Apart, and Blasphemies of the Flesh combined thrash influences with crushing riffs. Dan Seagrave created the cover artwork at one of his first Swedish death metal pieces. The album dropped March 1990, the same year as Left Hand Path. Critics consider both albums essential blueprints for Swedish death metal. But Carnage had already broken up by the time the album hit stores. Michael Amott left to join Carcass. Vocalist Matti Karki, guitarist David Blomqvist, and drummer Fred Espy reformed Dismember. They released Like an Ever-Flowing Stream in 1991, which many consider superior. Dark Recollections became a cult classic, reissued multiple times by Earache Records. The album ranked 65 on Decibel magazine's top 100 death metal albums. Carnage existed for roughly 2 years, but their influence spans decades. One perfect album that helped birth an entire movement. Number 4. THERGOTHON, 1994. Funeral doom metal starts here. Finnish band THERGOTHON formed in 1990, playing extremely slow death metal. Their 1991 demo, Eftagnag Jag Sothoth, pioneered the sound. They combined crushing heaviness, glacial tempos, and deep death growls. Lyrics drew from H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos. In autumn 1992, they entered a studio to record their debut album. 6 songs, 40 minutes total. The music moved at funeral pace. Songs like Everlasting and Who Rides the Astral Wings featured doom riffs, ambient passages, and guttural vocals mixed with clean chants. The production was lo-fi and atmospheric. Nico Sirkia handled vocals and keyboards. The album was meant for Italian label Obscure Plasma Records, but the band decided to disband in spring 1993 before the album dropped. Personal reasons, creative exhaustion, different life paths. Stream from the Heavens, finally released June 1994. The band was already gone. The music press ignored it. Sales were disappointing initially, but over time, it sold thousands worldwide. The album became the foundation for funeral doom metal. Bands like Skepticism, Esoteric, Mournful Congregation, and Evoken all cited it as essential. Metal Hammer called it an Ice Age Lovecraftian nightmare. Loudwire ranked it number 6 on their top 25 doom metal albums. Members went on to form experimental project This Empty Flow. THERGOTHON never reunited, never performed the album live. They created the funeral doom blueprint and walked away before anyone even heard it. Number 3. Repulsion, 1989. Grindcore started in a Michigan basement. Repulsion formed in 1984 as Genocide, playing thrash and hardcore punk. By 1986, they evolved into something faster, heavier, more extreme than anyone had heard. June 1986, they recorded their album in Larry Hennessy's basement studio for $300. The sessions captured 18 songs combining thrash metal, death metal, and hardcore at insane speeds. Blast beats, distorted bass, raspy shouted vocals. Songs like The Stench of Burning Death, Radiation Sickness, and Maggots in Your Coffin featured gore-obsessed lyrics inspired by horror films. They titled it Slaughter of the Innocent and shopped it to labels. No one bit. The band broke up September 1986. The demo circulated in tape trading circles. Carcass members Bill Steer and Jeff Walker heard it. They founded Necrosis Records specifically to release it. July 1989, the album finally dropped as Horrified with adjusted artwork. 3 years after recording, the band was long dead, but the album changed everything. Napalm Death cited it as massive influence. Entombed covered Black Breath. At the Gates, Brutal Truth, Cannibal Corpse all acknowledged its impact. Fenriz from Darkthrone got the album cover tattooed on his arm. Horrified pioneered both grindcore and gore grind. Repulsion reunited sporadically from 1990 onward, playing festivals and releasing demos, but they never recorded a second full-length album despite 35 years of opportunities. One basement recording became a genre-defining masterpiece that remains unsurpassed. Number 2. Disembowelment, 1993. Melbourne, Australia, 1989. 3 musicians created the most oppressive doom metal ever recorded. Renato Gallina on guitar and vocals, Paul Mazziota on drums, Jason Kells on lead guitar. Later, Matthew Scaraju joined on bass. They called themselves DISEMBOWELMENT with unconventional capitalization. September 1990, they released demo Morning September. Then 1992, EP Dusk on Relapse Records. The sound combined death metal brutality with funeral doomcrawl and dark ambient passages. Songs stretched past 10 minutes. Blast beats erupted into crushing slowness. Guttural vocals mixed with atmospheric clean sections. Winter and Spring 1992. They recorded their album at Toybox Studios in Melbourne. 7 tracks including The Tree of Life and Death, A Burial at Ornans, and Your Prophetic Throne of Ivory. The production was raw and heavy. The band never performed live, not once. September 1993, Transcendence Into the Peripheral released to silence. Critics ignored it. The underground embraced it. Then Disembowelment ceased to exist. They disbanded immediately after release without explanation. The album became a cult classic. Decibel magazine ranked it number 1 on their One Album Wonders list and number 15 on Top 100 Doom Metal Albums of all time. Members formed DUSK in 2012, later called Inverloch. They performed the entire album at Roadburn Festival 2012, but Disembowelment never reunited. The album influenced funeral doom, death doom, and atmospheric extreme metal for 3 decades. One perfect album, 0 live performances, complete mystery. Number 1, SNOT, 1997. Nu metal could have had another king. SNOT formed in Santa Barbara in 1995. Vocalist Lynn Straight, guitarists Sonny Mayo and Mikey Doling, bassist John Fahnestock, drummer Jamie Miller. They mixed hardcore punk, funk metal, and nu metal aggression with humor. Their live shows on the Sunset Strip packed clubs. They signed with Geffen Records in 1996. The band recorded Get Some with producer T-Ray at Longview Farm Studios in Massachusetts. October to November 1996, they tracked 15 songs. Get Some dropped May 1997. The album sounded like Sublime meets Pantera meets Bad Brains. Songs like Snot, Get Some, and Stupid featured Lynn Straight's over-the-top chaotic vocals. His dog Dobbs appeared on the album cover. Critics praised it. Sales disappointed. Snot joined Ozfest 1998. July 1998, Straight emerged nude from Limp Bizkit's oversized toilet prop and got arrested. The band started recording their second album. December 11, 1998, Lynn Straight was driving from Santa Barbara to Los Angeles. A truck hit his car in a 6-car crash. Lynn and Dobbs both died instantly. He was 30 years old. The band immediately disbanded. Mikey said, "We can't go on without Lynn. It's just bullshit when bands do that." Friends completed the unfinished album. Straight Up, released November 2000, featuring vocalists from Korn, System of a Down, Slipknot, Sevendust, Cold Chamber. A tribute. Snot reunited sporadically with different singers, but never recorded new material. Get Some became a lost classic of late 90s and nu metal. One album, 1 year together, one tragic accident that ended everything.